when you're going to find maybe the thing that you're most passionate or most compelled by. It may be in areas where you've struggled the most. I think sometimes God has made you strong in order to execute your calling, right? He's given you strength and a passion and a mission in something, and he's giving that to you in order to execute the calling and to do the things that you're called to do. Many times, though, I think that God actually, helps you to find your calling in areas where you have failed and fallen the hardest, right? Like, yes, you might just be naturally strong in some areas, but the stories that are out there of men, mine being one of them, who have found their calling in the midst of where they've fallen the worst or failed the hardest, is very interesting. Sometimes it's when you have fallen so hard that it propels you to have this deep emotional burden to help others who also have struggled in that area of weakness. I've told people many times in my story I've struggled back and forth with pornography over the course of my life, and I have loved God the whole time. It's been one of those areas where it's like, gosh, I would much rather tell stories of athleticism and areas where I was strong, when I was younger, areas where I'm naturally good or talented. Like, hopefully God will call me to those things. Well, he hasn't. What he's done is he said, there's been times that I have been unfaithful to him with my eyes. There's times that I've been unfaithful to him with my apathy and my complacency. And those two areas are the two areas that I feel very compelled to help other men in, because I know what it's like to struggle and to fail in those areas. And it burdens me. I feel very compelled and motivated to serve men who struggle in those two areas. If you're feeling complacent and apathetic and you're just going through the motions in your faith, feel for that. And I want to help that guy to get in the fight and win. If there's a man that's struggling with pornography or struggling with lust, and he's just like, man, I've tried over and over and I love the Lord, but I am failing here and I don't know the way out. I feel for that guy and I want to help that guy, right? You maybe your struggles are the same. Maybe you struggled with porn and now God has given you a passion to help serve men in that area too, because you know the burden, you know the depth of pain, right? Maybe you're a guy that's been through a divorce or had your marriage in crisis, and now God is using that. Now that you are strengthened, maybe he's using that to help serve men who have been through divorce or marriage crisis. Maybe you're a guy that grew up in a broken home and now you're passionate about wanting to strengthen families, right? You knew what it was like to be in a home where dad wasn't around, and now you are compelled to not only be a great man and a great dad, but you want to help other men be great dads and great men, right? Maybe you are somebody who's lost a loved one to alcohol. Alcohol abuse led to accidents or death or anything in between. And now you want to work to help prevent that from happening to somebody else. Maybe you're a guy that has a story of where, maybe you told your girlfriend to get an abortion. And now, out of that deep pain of having lived through that, you want to help other men who are in that space too, or deal with that too. Here's the thing that I want you to do. I want you to ask God to reveal to you where he wants you to go. And then I don't want you to be surprised if it's exactly in the area that you've hated the most. Maybe it's the area that you feel the weakest in. It may not be what you would want for your calling. And I can tell you again, like, I don't feel like this is where I would like to be telling stories of my worst moments, of my weakest moments.